fellow Ambazonians, I have tirelessly emphasized the importance of unity and collaboration within our struggle for a free and independent Ambazonia during my tenure here at the interim government. While we may not have achieved tangible results yet, I firmly believe that we have taken significant actions to back up our claims. Many of you have witnessed the numerous efforts we have made under my leadership to foster unity and collaboration. Unfortunately, there are individuals who claim that our focus on unity and collaboration stems from the fact that the interim government is fragmented, fractionalized, and incapable of achieving anything on its own. They insinuate that I am only advocating for unity, so to consolidate power within the interim government. These allegations couldn't be further from the truth. Despite the various factions that we see within the interim government, I am proud to assert that the People's Interim Government remains the most stable and popular in terms of management, visibility, stability, fundraising, engagement on the ground, and diplomatic influence. This interim government continues to possess the most powerful and respected voice when it comes to setting policies and direction, advocating for our cause, educating our masses, and shaping public opinion. Therefore, let me be clear, our voracious pursuit of unity and collaboration is not driven by any weakness. We have the support, the resources, and capabilities to pursue our goals as a group without dependence. Our cabinet is united and stable. The Restoration Council is engaged and supportive, and our local governments and counties are actively involved too. We also have dedicated restoration fighters on ground zero who are ready to take action once provided with the necessary resources. These factors alone should be enough for us to forge ahead on our own and focus on our plans, leaving behind those stubborn leaders and groups who refuse to collaborate or unite. However, we have not done so. We have not relented. We understand the crucial role unity and collaboration play in a struggle of this nature. Regardless of the strength or resources of any group may possess, the ultimate power lies in the collective will of the people, in this case, Ambazonians. Indeed, the saying, many hands make light work, resonates with us here. Unity and collaboration will consolidate our scattered resources, align our plans and objectives, and present a united front with a clear roadmap. It will demonstrate that we are not only united in purpose, but also in our approach and direction. This is why we persist in our efforts to foster unity and collaboration. However, as we pursue unity and collaboration, we are not ignorant of the natural law that states birds of the same feather flock together. We are under no delusion whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen, thinking that we can bring every individual and group in Ambazonia together. Not at all. Those groups within the struggle that have different aspirations and ambitions from those of a free and independent Ambazonia have no place at all in our unity and collaboration efforts. We don't put on the same feathers. They insist that it must be their way or the highway, and that reaching Boya first is all that matters. That's what they say, and those are their priorities. They are firmly fixated on the notion that if unity is to be achieved, it must be on their terms, and they must maintain control and leadership. These groups and individuals reveal that their struggle is no longer for a free Ambazonia. Rather, it is a fight for dominance and power for themselves and perhaps their families. Why we remain steadfast here at the interim government in our commitment to unity and collaboration, we will recognize and distance ourselves from those who do not share our common vision and values for a free and independent Ambazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, how can we easily forget the lessons we learned from the SDF party? The bitter memories remain vividly in our minds. Many of us Ambazonians boldly took to the streets, enduring the water cannons of La République du Cameroon, to embrace the launch of the SDF party, hoping that it would emancipate all of us. In the favor of that moment, we were promised that the SDF party would put an end to the suffering of our people. We were assured that the SDF would empower the people of Ambazonia and introduce democracy in that country. Isn't it disheartening today to realize that the SDF failed to fulfill any of these promises? For more than 3 decades, the SDF devolved into a clique for a select few individuals who sought personal gain and status. The SDF did not alleviate our suffering, did not empower our people, and it did not establish democracy, not even within its own organization or ranks. Suffering always ceased for Chairman John Frundi, Joshua Osi, their relatives, and perhaps a small circle that surrounded them. Power remained entirely and firmly too in the hands of Chairman John Frundi until his passing, along with those close to him. Frundi never relinquished his hold on power, so to speak. And when it comes to democracy, it never materialized, neither within the party nor in the country. Frundi departed, still the chairman of the SDF. As we wage this war anew, it is crucial that we reflect and learn from the mistakes of the past. We must not allow history to repeat itself. We cannot afford to place our trust blindly in leaders and groups who prioritize their own interests above the collective we and future destiny of 8 million Ambazonians. The struggle for our freedom and self-determination will not be hijacked by those seeking personal power, glory, and control. It is a fight that belongs to every Ambazonian, and it should be guided, ladies and gentlemen, by principles of justice, equality, and inclusivity. We must remain vigilant and discerning, ensuring that those who claim to lead us are genuinely committed to the ideals and aspirations of our people. True leaders will not seek to exploit the movement for their own gain, but will work selflessly, and I mean selflessly, towards the liberation of Ambazonia and the betterment of every citizen. Let us remember the sacrifices made by our brave men and women who have laid down their lives in the pursuit of our freedom. They didn't seek power, glory, and control. They just wanted their own free country. Their sacrifices should not be in vain. We owe it to them and to future generations of Ambazonia to build a new country founded on the values of transparency, accountability, and respect for human rights. Let us therefore unite under a common purpose, free from the trappings of personal ambition and power struggles. The destiny of Ambazonia is in our hands, and it is through genuine unity, and I mean genuine unity, collective action, and unwavering determination that we will achieve the free and prosperous Ambazonia we all fight for. Fellow comrades, ladies and gentlemen, I am presenting a crucial idea to you today that I believe is a final attempt by the interim government to establish unity and collaboration amongst us. Last December, we proposed the formation of a governing coalition or council consisting of frontline groups. The purpose of this coalition was to facilitate agreement on common areas of collaboration, prioritize them, and form a rotating leadership that changes every 6 months. This way, we thought no single group would be seen as dominating, and the leading group at any given moment would only execute the coalition's agenda, not that of their own group. The suggested areas of collaboration included ground zero defense, diplomacy, lockdown and ghost towns policy, school policy, a common roadmap, refugee and humanitarian policy, and communication, among others. When we initially presented this idea to other groups, all the leaders were consulted and were agreed that it was such a great concept of collaboration. However, when we called them to participate in a meeting or in meetings to fine-tune the details, none of them showed up. Instead, a series of conferences followed. We here attempted to organize a conference in Washington, D.C. to discuss the idea and to build on it. But the coalition of people and groups we brought together could not agree on the format of the conference. Around the same time, the idea of a Canadian conference was also floated. We agreed it was a good alternative to Washington. However, we were ignorant of the undercurrents behind the Canadian conference. The planners of the Canadian conference only consulted with us once, and I mean once, and did not involve us in the planning process. To ensure our participation, we suggested that all the frontline leaders and major stakeholders be brought together into a meeting to pre-plan the conference, discuss the agenda and understand it, and refine it according to their preferences. This way, we thought they would have ownership and enthusiasm for the conference. But again, the planners agreed that this was such a the best approach to convening a conference that would be embraced by all Ambazonians. Unfortunately, this plan never materialized, it never took off. The planners had their own agenda, and it seemed that they expected us to simply join in without any idea of what it is or input. The conference proceeded irrespective of the lack of inclusivity. Its outcome has been largely ignored, and the conference made inconsequential. However, while the Canadian conference was taking place, representatives from other groups, including the interim government, your interim government, met with some international partners in Washington, D.C. They had chosen to intervene and assist in uniting Ambazonia. Following a month-long consultation, they conducted several surveys and reached conclusions indicating that the vast majority of Ambazonians desire unity and collaboration. However, the recommendations for implementation fell below realization. Upon examining the recommendations, it became evident that they would not provide a viable solution to unity and collaboration. I will spare you the intricate details. I am making this narration to update you with background efforts that have been tried to build a united or collaborative front. While they all have failed, so to say, some individuals have suggested that the idea of a government is the root of the problem, or was the root. They argue that the concept of government was fundamentally flawed. Some have proposed the establishment or creation of something new. The ideas range from forming a revolutionary council or a governing council to maybe war council or independence council, among other names. But here is what my take is. Whatever label, ladies and gentlemen, that is given to it doesn't make any difference. It is just another group with the same old actors. It is essentially an attempt to reinvent the wheel by disguising it with new names. Changing the name will not alter the character and mindset of the individuals involved. In this ongoing struggle, people have already become entrenched in their group affiliations, and the majority of them are unwilling to let go of those affiliations. Nothing wrong with that. Consequently, these various names amount to nothing more than putting lipstick on a pig, and it does not change the fact that it is still a pig. This is where the importance of a coalition of the willing arises. The coalition of the willing is not a new group. It is a league of like-minded persons and their groups. A coalition of the willing is crucial in this context. It involves individuals and groups who are genuinely committed to achieving the common goal of uniting Ambazonia. People, again, of like-minded. It transcends superficial name changes and focuses only on bringing together like-minded individuals who are ready to set aside personal agendas and work towards the greater good. Creating a coalition requires a shift in mindset, not name change. It demands a departure from the divisive group dynamics that have plagued the struggle thus far. Instead of clinging to individual affiliations, participants must be willing to embrace a broader sense of unity. It necessitates a collective understanding that the real enemy lies in the oppressive forces that have caused suffering and division within Ambazonia. A coalition of the willing, ladies and gentlemen, should be built on principles of inclusivity, transparency, and accountability. It should prioritize the voices and concerns of the Ambazonian people. ensuring that their aspirations and rights are at the center of any decision-making process. This coalition should transcend regional, ideological, and political differences, fostering an environment where open dialogue and constructive collaboration are valued. Real progress lies in the formation of a strong and united coalition of the willing. It is through this collective effort that Ambazonia can overcome internal divisions, confront external challenges, and move closer to realizing the aspiration of its people for self-determination. For those who want you to believe the idea of a government was the problem or is the problem, let me say this to you. The fundamental idea of the interim government from Zaire, Nigeria, revolved around a coalition comprising of diverse groups. Consequently, the Restoration Council was established to represent these various groups, ensuring that all the groups had a say in the governance process. When we established local government areas and the counties in Germany, it did not preclude other groups from the Restoration Council. It merely expanded its scope. My proposition is that if we collectively agree that the interim government was not a flawed concept, it was not a bad idea, we should rectify its shortcomings, we should fix it by returning to its roots and addressing the issues that went awry, the issues that went wrong. SCAPO and the SCNC were members of the interim government coalition, alongside several others. Today, I am appealing for the formation of an interim government that emulates the original idea, which I here refer to as the coalition of the willing, the coalition of the critical mass. This is all that is required to liberate Ambazonia from the clutches of La République du Cameroon. A robust coalition of willing individuals united under the banner of the interim government. Allow me to explain why this is of utmost importance, ladies and gentlemen, and absolutely a necessity. Cameroon turned a deaf ear to our pleas. Paul Biya responded by declaring war against us. In response, we proclaimed never again, and then declared our independence. To substantiate this declaration, we acknowledge that a republic or a country cannot be declared without a government. Hence, we rallied behind the idea of an interim government. The international community heard our resolve, and it knows that we have a government. Can you imagine how childish and inconsistent we will look like if today or tomorrow the same international community is told that we dissolve the government, we dissolve the interim government? Think about that. How childish would appear. If we do so, we would have nothing to show that we are a sovereign people. If we do away with the government, we have given Cameroon just what it has been looking for all these years. Cancelling the idea of a government just gives La République du Cameroon the leverage to say Ambazonia doesn't exist. It says we are one Cameroon. It is capitulation, surrender. Before addressing you today, I made quite a handful of calls to some of our patriots, frontline groups, leaders, and stakeholders, including the SCNC, SCAPO, Professor Carson Anyangwe, Pa Augustine Nagam, Elvis Komita, and Chairman Prizo, among others. I held discussions at the cabinet level and with the leadership of the Restoration Council, plus the county and LGA chairs. All are in agreement we should go back to the roots and fix the interim government. We should form a coalition of the willing, with groups that want to belong, want to participate. It is still called the interim government, but groups keep their own identities. In the proposal, the LGAs and counties are reconstituted with fresh elections in every LGA and every county to ensure that a level playing field and an open door to all who are out there and want to participate can come in. Once the LGAs and counties have been reconstituted, they then pick or elect their Restoration Council representatives. At the ROC level, the groups forming the coalition send their own representatives to the body. Once the Restoration Council is fully reconstituted, elections for House leadership are conducted just as in the counties or the LGAs, and the leader and executive of the Restoration Council emerges there. The reorganization there is then complete. To make sure that this reorganization gets all the way to the executive branch, we can either call for early elections or presidential elections or wait for the current term to finish. If the decision is to let the current term expire before elections, the president should reshuffle the cabinet to form an all-inclusive government that represents the coalition and aspirations of all the people represented. That is my plan for the coalition of the willing. I hope it is a fair proposition and makes sense to all. In the coming days, I will continue consultations with the hope of coming up with a more detailed schedule of events. But before I go, I have some good news to share with you. I am pleased to formally announce that 4 days ago, the Washington, D.C. Secretary of State officially incorporated our trademark, the interim government of Ambazonia. This incorporation covers us in all states in the USA. I would like to emphasize the significance of this milestone. The official incorporation of the interim government as a legal entity in the United States grants us greater authority and legitimacy. It demonstrates our commitment to operating in a professional and organized manner. With this legal protection, we can now take necessary legal measures against any entity that tries to misrepresent or infringe upon the name of the interim government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. This achievement should not be taken lightly. It symbolizes a new era for our cause and underscores our determination to protect our identity and reputation. Therefore, I urge all individuals or groups currently using the name Interim Government of Ambazonia to promptly initiate the process of selecting alternative names and update their official documentations and correspondences accordingly. By securing this exclusive right to our trademark, we strengthen our position and ensure that the people's interim government remains distinct and recognizable. Let this announcement serve as a reminder that we are resolute in our pursuit of justice and self-determination for Ambazonia. Together, we will navigate the path ahead, safeguarding the interests of Ambazonia and striving for a better or brighter future. Now is the time for us to capitalize on this incorporation. We must leverage our newfound legal standing to advance our cause with integrity and effectiveness. It is therefore incumbent upon us to use this exclusive reserve of the trademark to our advantage, ensuring that it remains synonymous with the genuine aspirations of the people of Ambazonia. I encourage all stakeholders and supporters to embrace this announcement. Spread the word. Let us stand united and assertive in defending our identity against any impostors or detractors. Together, we can ensure that the interim government of Ambazonia is recognized as the true representative of our people's aspirations. As we forge ahead, ladies and gentlemen, fellow comrades, I will continue my consultations and work diligently to provide a detailed and comprehensive calendar of upcoming activities towards this coalition. Rest assured that I am committed to the betterment and preservation of Ambazonia. And I remain grateful for the unwavering support of each and every one of you out there. Thank you for your attention. And let us move forward with confidence and determination. Short live the war. Long live the Federal Republic of Ambazonia.
Wow. That was a powerful speech, full of substance, full of information that Ambazonians should be proud of the interim government. I mean, when we have this kind of achievement that we are having every month, we have good news. Every month we have good news. That is what we want. For the past 7 years, we have had people who just say they are leaders. They just stay there comfortably, receiving money, receiving all types of fundraising and so on and so forth. But nothing happens, right? Now we are seeing just these few months, we are seeing achievement upon achievement, success upon success. And now we want to analyze the president's speech. He made mention of so many things that I don't even know where to start. But from what I listened to and what we have achieved within the interim government, I'm proudly say that we have done something very, very significant within the past few months. Let me thank the interim government. Let me thank the president for this wonderful achievement. Number one, the success within the incorporation. I'm telling you that this law firm has achieved very, very significant thing that the past lobby firms that we have hired with huge sum of money have not achieved. This is a very good thing. I'm telling you, because when you are in America, like myself, as a law enforcement officer, we enforce the laws. So if you're doing something in America without following the law, you are going to be arrested. So I'm very proud that I'm covered with this law system that we are trying to build as Ambazonia. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call transparency. This is what we call accountability. We want to do things so that it should be transparent. It should be on the books. For the past 7 years, most of what the IGs under Sako, under Siseko, under Marianta, they have been doing is not in the books. There's nothing that has been recorded. I'm telling you, because everything that has been done for the past 7 years has just been illegally done. And that's why you see people like Mangang in jail today. You see people that have been arrested, people that have been followed through lawsuits, because nothing was legally done. Everything was unlawfully done. And at the end of the day, you find yourself being hacked within the laws of America. So I'm very grateful for that. We have our panelists that we're going to discuss much about what the president just made mention. He mentioned about a united cabinet. I want us to take note of that. This is what the president has been making his point of focus since he took over office. So I want us to discuss about that. Comrade Sama Thomas, who is the honorary member of the Restoration Council, will come on and tell us what he think about this coalition of the willing. Comrade Sama Thomas. Comrade Sama Thomas is a member of the Restoration Council. This Restoration Council was formed in the main goal to unite all the groups. So all the members of from NCNC to SCAPO to all these other groups, Republic of Ambazonia, all these groups are members of the Restoration Council. And when we see this coalition of the willing, it's a very good thing, because it brings all these groups together so that they can form a very strong coalition. Comrade Sama Thomas, what's your take about the president's agenda about this Restoration Council that is very inclusive, accountability, and transparent?
Well, first thing I will say is that I want to say congratulations to members of the Restoration Council that have stood their grounds for all this while to make sure they sustain this struggle up to this day of today. Related in their efforts of seeing how they can keep things moving and how to bring Southern Cameroonians together. In support of what the president just said, people are calling me honorable, honorable, honorable. It's not something that somebody is paying me for, but it's a position of responsibility that I am putting in my money. But unfortunately, people are insulting me out there because I'm putting in my money for the struggle. I will humbly, if people who think they are better than me, they can better handle the responsibility of a Restoration Council member than I do, let them come. I will humbly give them that position so that they can take over that responsibility. I'm not giving them that position to take over that responsibility because I want to relent my effort. I will stick to doing what I'm supposed to do all along to this day of today. I will keep on doing it, but come join me so as to add my number, add my voice. This is what we expect of all Southern Cameroonians. Like I've said, struggle every long time together. Frontline leaders should come together. and nobody has been able to say submit to the order. I also boil down. Let us go now out for the quality of the willing. It is good, and I'm happy that some people have listened to that cry out there. You do not come together with your friend or your brother so far as the Southern Cameroon struggle is concerned because you like someone that much. No, even if we are enemies, Mandela could forgive Mngosuthu, all of them of blessed memory now, not because Chief Mangosuthu Lazy was a friend. Buthelezi was an enemy of Mandela. He was an enemy of the black Southern person. But Mandela had to form a coalition government with Buthelezi just to cause some peace to reign in South Africa. If what is going on now is what is going to cause some peace within the Southern Cameroon's liberation quest, then I will go extra miles. If you want me to take a room in my house, just for me to conclude that we should work together. In fact, my house is big. Come, I will give you a room just for us to work together to see homeland liberated.
Thank you, Honorable Sama Thomas. I can see your dedication to the struggle back in the days from SDF, NCNC, and up to now. You are still dedicated to the struggle. Thank you for your dedication to the people of Ambazonia. Thank you for your sacrifice. I want to also thank SOS Maji. SOS Maji is a symbol of democratic principles, the symbol of unity, symbol of coalition. She ran for president with Comrade Chris Anno. Comrade Chris Anno won the election, and she was very humble herself to join the government of Comrade Chris Anno. And here she is today, that symbol of unity, that symbol of coalition. She did not go and form her own government. She did not go and do her own things. She did not go against the Restoration Council verdict. Here she is today. SOS Maji, thank you for your sacrifice to the struggle. Thank you for your sacrifice to the people of Ambazonia. What do you say about the president's speech about coalition to free this genuine unity, collective action, this coalition of the willing?
Yeah, thank you, sir, for your kind words. I listened attentively to what the president has said, and it moved me because for the longest time, the international community has been asking that we should come together because La Republique continues to complain that they would like to sit and talk with us, and they don't know who to talk to, that there are many groups, and they know who to talk to, but they deliberately don't want to. And our president, Comrade Chris, even before coming into power, had said that he wants everybody to come together, that that's his one major goal, is to bring all of us together. That way, we will have a united front. We will stand against the enemy, the one enemy we have, which is La Republique. We cannot be enemies with each other. So he has tried in every way possible, and now he has come up with a new idea that I'm hoping that people will look into and embrace, so that we cannot continue to be fighting against each other. We should be fighting against La Republique, not Ambazonia against Ambazonia. This is another bold step, another idea that I hope that those on the other side of the fence can listen to, accept it, make some modification if need be, but embrace it. Let people see that this is a man who is making an attempt to do what we have to do so that we can march to La Republique and say, here we are, talk to us. So That's what
Thank,
I have to say about that one aspect.
thank you very much. Let me go to SOS Mike Fusi, who is there trying to reach us to. Uh, SOS Mike Fusi, you have seen the president sending an olive branch to other groups. I don't know. You see, he talked about coalition of the willing in the aspect of defense, aspect of diplomacy, aspect of ghost towns and school reopening, and a common roadmap of then also communication and humanitarian aspect. What do you say about this coalition? Does it fit into your own idea of coalition? I don't think Honorable Mike is there. Let me go to our brother, Honorable Sama Thomas. Honorable Sama Thomas, uh, I think you are there, but I'm talking about the coalition. Those idea about the coalition, to have coalition in defense, diplomacy, about ghost town and school reopening, also coalition of the idea of communication and humanitarian aspect. These idea, do you think these are a good aspect that we can have coalition or collaboration with other groups?
Uh, uh, Comrade friends, you cannot do all. A mechanic only be a garage in the garage to fix vehicles or to repair vehicles. A teacher can only be in the classroom to children. A scientist can only be in the field of research to do research and come out with answers to scientific issues. One cannot be Mr. Do It All, no matter how far. So it's only way we come together with our various strengths from our various sectors of field of expertise that we can our society. Unfortunately, the Southern cannot be suffering from the Mr. Know All, I can do all, at the same time doing nothing. But if you choose one, you will do it to the best of your ability. I think the path which we've taken now is the best, and I hope all Southern Cameroonians are going to embrace it and come for us to work together. If you are best at humanitarian duties, we will channel you toward that direction of humanitarian duties for us. Our people are suffering in Nigeria, even those those back at home that are displaced. If you are good at defense, we will get the funds that are meant for defense for you to buy the equipments, and only if you will be sincere to do that job, to buy the equipments and put it in the hands of our people, you will get the funds to do that. If you are good at the monies that are meant for diplomacy, like what we are already doing, we will push that to you and see how far you can. If your problem not to go far was finances or transportation, you will find it now easy to do your job without problems. Please, we should come together and make this thing easy for all of us and facilitate our journey to Boya, or fast track our journey to Boya. I yield.
Thank you. Thank you. Maji, you have been working with those diplomats. You are working with those other universities around America, and you have heard the message behind how they talk about unity. They need a united front. They need an incorporated IG. They need the RC to work out things. And also you have been a chairlady of the counties and LGA. What do you think can be done in this aspect of bringing the LGAs together and the counties together, and also bringing these dedicated ARFs together, as the president mentioned?
No, well, I think that the adage, the strength in number, applies to this case. We need to be together, we need to be working, because there are some places, there are some duties which are very important, which might get lost, which might not be addressed because there are not enough people. There might be some areas which everybody is concentrating on and there's duplicity. So it doesn't make sense if everybody is working on one aspect and the others are neglected. So the coalition coming together is going to be very helpful, because people will use their strength. If I am good in humanitarian, that can be assigned to me, to my group, and that way I will do it well. I'll concentrate on that one thing rather than trying to do 10 different things that I will not be able to do well. And if there are people who are in self-defense, we can divide it in such a way that these people do it on this end and this do on this end, so the whole country is covered. So I think that it's a good idea that we have one governing body, that we have everything together, instead of being divided and duplicating and ignoring some sections, some part of the work that has to be done. We need to be in one voice. And sometimes somebody is doing something you don't know because you've not talked to them, and you may misconstrue what it is that they are doing. If we come together and we join and work together, it's going to be so smooth. It's going to be so smooth that we don't have to take another 10 years again, or 7 years again before we get to Boya. So we need to consolidate our forces. We need to put everything together, our persons and our efforts together.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Comrade Sama Thomas, you heard the president mention our very committed Pandangam of different, even Honorable Evis Kometa mention of these other leaders who are very, very committed members. And these members, these leaders that have been there for many, many years. So I think this coalition will be a very good one when all these leaders like Pandangam, Evis Kometa of the NCNC are brought together to forge some very strong and united front. I don't know your take on that.
Pandangam is someone I know as far back in the 90s. At times when we were still running the streets of Mancon, when it gets hard or difficult at a given moment,
Right.
we would jump into Pandangam's house to seek for us. When I went back home in 2013 or so for the burial of my mother, I had to call Pandangam and the rest after the funeral ceremonies of my mother were over. I called Pandangam, Len Wanchan Thomas, may his soul rest in peace, and the leadership of the SCNC, that we should sit and talk just to see how I can bring everybody together for us to be fighting as a united front.
Right.
All of them came to my mother's place, and we talked and shared a bottle of drink before I left. The only person that couldn't come was Martin von Yembe of blessed memory. May his soul rest in peace. All along, I've been strong to bring everybody together so far as this struggle is concerned. But for the fact that Comrade Chris has gone back to where I was about how many years ago is a wonderful thing. What can I say? Other than to say I doffed my cap to Comrade Chris for enacting what I did that long time ago to bring back Pandangam to the fold. I don't know if he got in contact also with our grandfather Goji Dinka or Edwin Gang of the A of R or so to come together as well. For we need everybody together. We cannot be talking here while somebody is standing out there talking another language. So please, whether contacted or not, if you know that you want to see the independence of the Southern Cameroons, now is the time. Don't say we need to a cup of wine, a calabash to come to your house as if we are coming to set your daughter's hand in marriage. This is not that case. It's a different ball game completely.
Yes. Right.
Come and let us sit as a people, as a family, and liberate ourselves. When we are in Boya, we can now part our ways for you to go and form a Jesus Christ party. If I'm to form my Satanist party, let me form that party. I should form it while in Boya. But for now, we should form the coalition of the willing. All hands on deck. Contacted or not. As you've heard over this media today, that we've come to the coalition of willing, be that willing horse that is ready to be ridden to death. If you will die because of Boya, come and be used. I'm not living till death because I haven't been used to the fullest. But God has given me that strength to keep on moving. And I thank Him for that. I will never surrender, no matter how much I will be used, no matter how much I will be exploited. But there's a school of thought out there that Sabbath Thomas has made himself a fool to exploited by embezzlers like Sako, and he still keeps on doing just the same thing. Yes, I accept. I've been contributing money in this struggle not because I am in Europe, but right back home. We must contribute for some people to use. They might, in the process of using that money, misuse part of that money. We must not use that part of misuse of our funds to now sabotage the entire struggle because mistakes have been committed along the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Talking about those who don't want or who are very reluctant to collaborate, who are very reluctant to accept these diplomatic wins that we are doing. I don't understand. Somebody like Ayabacho, Sako, all these guys, they don't want to collaborate. They don't want to come to this kind of coalition so that we can forge ahead, you know. But look at someone like even the Biafrans, they are talking about a referendum. The diplomats are talking about referendum. The different people are holding conferences about Ambazonia. And they are talking about unity, talking about this. We have to identify all the legitimate groups. All the legitimate groups is an imperative so that we identify them and bring them together so that we can have that kind of coalition of the willing. Margie, you saw, you have worked with all these diplomats, and you have heard them. You have heard somebody like Ambassador Thibaut Nagy trying to tell us that we have to unify, all right, to have that momentum. You know, trying to put all this our community together because it's one of the obstacles for the struggle. One of the obstacles we have in this struggle is the lack of unity of the groups. And this is somebody who is not even Ambazonian, Thibaut Nagy, telling us that it's very, very important because this is a serious obstruction for our unity of purpose. What do you say about that, Margie?
Yeah, thank you. I don't even understand. Let me start by saying I really appreciate Thibaut Nagy with all his efforts. This is somebody who is an American. He is retired. He worked for the government. He served in Africa, worked in Cameroon. He has more insight than we do. We don't even know anything. Um, and he's coming here, sticking his neck out. It's not like he wants somebody's liver or kidney. He doesn't want a piece of land or piece of oil. He sees injustice and he's standing for us. And we find it so difficult to even believe in what he's saying. I don't know what else, unless it's Jesus Christ who has to come from the heavens for us to follow him. This man is doing it consistently, and something happens back home or here or whatever that concerns us, he tweets. He is standing for us, and we refuse to listen to him. I mean, I'm not saying that he knows everything, but he is giving us a way out. He's giving us a way to counter that particular, that very important thing that La Republic keeps saying, that we are not together, therefore they don't know who to talk to. And he is holding our hands. He's not just giving us a roadmap, he's holding our hands and saying, this is how you achieve that goal. And yet we are being recalcitrant. I wonder what we think this man has to gain from helping us. And despite all our stubbornness, the man is not retreating. He is still there. He's still speaking. He's still holding our hands. So I'm actually begging everybody that this is a golden opportunity that we should all seize, because like I said the other day when we were talking about the lobbies, I said that the lobbies is like um somebody in La Republique. There are some people who, if you have areas to be paid by the government, you cannot go. It takes so much time for you to go to Yaoundé and pursue your documents. You have to get a place to stay for the number of days. You need to see so many people, but there are people who already know the way. So most times people just pay them. So you know the way, you go and do it. Give me and I'll pay you something. Tibor Nat is somebody who has worked in American government. He has worked in Cameroon. He knows, and he is telling us this one is different because he's not asking for money, but he is giving us a roadmap, and we are still arguing. I really wonder who we would listen to, whether we think that it's the Paul Biya himself who has to come and tell us what to do, because he will never do that. And we are not smart enough. If we were, we would have gotten there by now. So let us let somebody help us. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Sama Thomas, you have, from the speech, we can summarize a lot of very important facts there, like to identify all the stakeholders that have been in this struggle, those committed to Ambazonian independence. We can identify, convene like this leadership summit that we can have all the leaders come together and hold some powerful, then revamped the Restoration Council with these new members and improve on the interim constitution. You have been there. The Restoration Council have been working so hard, but people say that there are some there are some issues there within the Restoration Council that need to be revamped. This idea of coalition can only be solidified by the Restoration Council. What do you think can really be done to reinvent this wheel that Comrade Chris is bringing?
Let me tell Southern Cameroonians, I don't know how many hundreds of years America is now an independent state, over 200 and something years. The guy who drew or who led the commission in charge of the U.S. Constitution that they are using till today, Thomas Jefferson, he was never the most intelligent person in America. And That constitution has undergone amendment till this day of today. They are still amending that constitution, amending Thomas Jefferson's constitution. That's amending it. We cannot keep on inventing the spin wheel. And Jefferson said, and I quote, they will not, or he will not go out to invent a spin wheel, but he will use what is already workable to draw the Constitution of the United States. And he holds the Constitution of England to be the best, but will do everything, will make everything possible to see that those clauses makes James or George the tyrant are removed from that constitution. End of quote. Come, join us. If there is anything wrong with the constitution at the RC, we amend it and move forward. We are amending it, not making it the best today. For the next generation or the group of persons to come, will keep on amending that same constitution. For the next 1,000 years, they will keep on amending that same constitution. Whoever, I know that the Catholic Church that I know, within my own lifetime, will have some changes. That is not what I knew 30 or 40 years ago. But there are changes in the Catholic Church, which I'm challenging them, that they are making the Bible to become a falsehood. If those changes are coming, then I will no longer believe in the whole thing again. If the Bible was what it is, they are not be amending some certain things within the church, of which the Bible is still the same. So please come and let us. Let me end that quote. Come and meet us and amend what you think you can amend, where we couldn't reach. That is the thing you can now reach there. Us move that your position and allow the rest for the next generation to do their own. But we should do ours now. For we are not the most intelligent Southerners. We are not even constitutional experts. We've done but the little we can do, and others will come and do theirs. But before doing yours, appreciate those that were there yesterday to do something, and you work on their footsteps and build a better society for tomorrow.
Thank you, Comrade. Thank you very much. That was very nice. When you talk about that, you talk about the history of the United States. So many countries are still trying to rearrange, trying to, try to make sure that their constitution is, is in line with what they have. So it's not easy for people to, because we still have the interim constitution. That's why we have the interim government, because everything is still interim, meaning that it's not the real, we were trying to rebuild, we're trying to reconstruct something. So people should not have those complaints. Let's come together and do some incorporation, try to build something that we are trying to build. I just received a message from someone. Let me read it. So Margie is going to respond to that. It's coming from Comrade Mark Barretta. He said, Chris Anno, leader of the IG, in a live broadcast, has given a good formula for the collaboration structure. I must say, the just ended Canada conference was exactly in the same light. The Southern Cameroon People's Secretariat is exactly in the same light. Ambazonian groups and leaders should keep aside their egos and read the Canada resolutions, endorse them, and join the Secretariat. And also, but he's just saying that what the Canada conference and what those other groups are trying to do. But I want to ask Margie about this. Margie, you are also part of a kind of coalition to try to bring a consultative platform
Mm-hmm.
just like what Mark Barata is saying there about what happened in Canada. What do you think is, it's a good idea? What the President Chris Ano is trying to say now is just and it's the same inclusive thing that you people have been doing in the consultation group, and also what Mark Barata is saying about what Canada. So all these are still platforms that are trying to bring people together, but yeah, we are trying to do something of inclusive. All the groups that are part of the independence struggle. So what do you think about that, Margie?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Now, let me start by saying what it is that we are doing. What we are doing is that we are trying to get information from people what they want. For the longest time, the governance has been from the top, where we tell people what to do. But now, what this small consultative group is doing is that it is digging, is going to the bottom, going to everybody and saying, what do you want to see? Because our people always say that it is so top heavy that we are neglecting them, that their voices are not being heard. So we are going to everybody from top to bottom. We are asking all kinds of groups, whether it's a region, a people from one region, they have their own way of doing things and they have some ideas that they want to share. The problem here is what A is wants may not be what B wants. So the signals are crossing. People don't know what the other wants. So we are going and consulting with people and getting information. When we have that information and we give our report is going to help what it is that Canada did or what Comrade Chris is saying. So we are
Right.
giving more insight because what Canada did was that they just had a conference, but you cannot have a conference without the input of the common man on the street, of everybody, every section of our
Right.
community. So that is where we are doing something different. That's what we are doing, which is different. It's new, is that by the time that we sit down to an all Ambazonia conference, we would have dug in and gotten information from everybody, whether it's somebody in Gokutunja or Frukankang or over Simon Fe or Benikang, what Kaka, any place. We want people. We keep telling people, come up with questions, come up with ideas, bring your own things that you want. We don't want anybody to say, oh, those people in the diaspora, they are the ones doing and dictating to us. No, we don't want to dictate. This time
Mhm.
it is your responsibility to reach out to us, to give us your own ideas. We put it in the
Right.
document so that when we go and have an all Ambazonia conference or whatever, when we adopt rather what it is that Comrade Chris is saying, or whether it is for Comrade Chris's idea to merge with those of the Canadian or whichever that we adopt, then what we are doing now in the coalition, we will present it now and say, okay, what plans you're making, you have to follow these principles, these ideas that people have given us, people from the grassroots, what their desires are. This is what it is.
Mhm.
So we are not taking anything away from them. We are not saying that they are right or wrong. They are right because they are working with the people. But we want to do an in depth, we want to dig even more and give more
Mhm.
information out here so that when we are doing anything, we are using that information. We are using that
Right.
information. But what Comrade Chris is saying is really powerful because if people come together and then we start rebuilding our LGAs, rebuilding our counties, that everybody feels like they are part of it. we don't want anybody to come and join something and say it is our thing, it is their thing, it is these people's thing.
I would
It
agree.
has to be all our thing. So we want
Correct.
everybody to come together with the idea that Comrade Chris is bringing, so that everybody joins their LGA, everybody is part of their county, and all these counties feel like they are represented in the Restoration Council. Those people who are
Correct.
in the Restoration Council have been doing a swell job, but
Mhm.
there are some groups which are not represented. There are some people
Right.
who are out there who do not belong to any group, who have
Mhm.
important information that they can share with us, that if they join, then they can be represented, or they themselves can be in the Restoration Council. And
Exactly.
even like Comrade Chris is saying, um, the executive body of the interim government is going to be moved around. Some of us who might be kicked out because we are not doing the right thing. So we should not be afraid. If our job, if our desire is for us to go to Ambazonia, I cannot sit here and be worried that
Right.
if they reshuffle, I'll be kicked out. No, I, I mean, anybody who knows me knows that I resigned at the time from being one of the most powerful county chairs. I was doing so much,
Yes.
and it got to the point where I resigned. So if I can resign and continue to work in the revolution, it shows you that whether I'm there or not, whether I'm a cabinet member or not, I'm still going to find it useful, something useful to do.
Exactly.
My ambition, my hope, my prayer, my desire is for us to have an independent Ambazonia. It is not for
Yeah.
me to have some lofty position, whether here or there. That's not the thing. So everybody who has a position now, whether you're a county chair, an LGA chair, a member of the Restoration Council, everybody is doing, or a member of the cabinet, I think everybody is doing a swell job. But if the people who come in can do a better job, we should be gracious to step back and let them lead in those aspects that we find out that they can do better. That's how it has to be. So it is a desire to get to Poya. It is not a desire for me or for any individual to be in any position. That is not what we are fighting for. We are not fighting for any individual to have some big position. We are fighting to get to Ambazonia. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Maji. You know you made some very important points there. What Mark Barata is saying here is not the same as the IG is doing. Actually, he's just trying to compare that with their conference that they had in Canada, but the IG let down. Uh, Comrade Chris has just put down a roadmap supported by the international community. Okay, then we have now, but the Canadian meeting does not believe in a referendum. The Canadian meeting had nothing to say about referendum. So we can't really compare those two. Even the lobbies. IG has a lobbyist working for us now, but the Canada, they never mention anything about lobbies. They never mention anything about that. And we can't be doing the same thing for the past 7 years. The same failing thing, we do the same fail, you know. And so what happened in Canada is a non-starter. We can't really believe in that. The Southern Cameroonian people had a government before we joined La République. We restored our sovereignty in 2017. Thus, we restored that government that existed. So why should people come and say we don't need a government? It doesn't make sense. Once you restore something, you're trying to restore everything that you had. Okay, from the government to the institutions, our flags, our anthem, everything that you had. So we should not say no. We should abandon what we had or what we restored, and we should just have just groups going from one conference to another, no direction. No, we can't do that. We need an interim government that we have to restore, so that we have restored in 2017, and we have to build on that. Like Comrade Sama Thomas mentioned, someone like Ayabacho went with the Biafrans to have a conference on referendum, but he doesn't support referendum that the interim government have been preaching all along. How does that match up? We are talking about referendum because there's a possibility that during the negotiation with La Republique, referendum will come up. So it's an option. But if we are supporting Biafra referendum, Biafra should have referendum, but someone like Ayabacho or Sako, they don't support referendum for Ambazonia. How do you say that? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give the last speech or last say to you both to conclude. Comrade Sama Thomas, can you conclude about that? Ayaba does not support referendum for Ambazonia, but you saw him in Finland supporting referendum for Biafra. Referendum for Biafra.
Let me start with the situation. Yeah, let me start with the situation in South Sudan. If the international community could have asked Sudan to give independence to South Sudan outrightly, Sudan couldn't have accepted to give independence to South Sudan. Despite the fact that Sudan has lost South Sudan, because he insists that South Sudan is part of Sudan. So what the international community did was that they asked Sudan to let an internationally organized referendum to seek the wishes of the people of the South to see if they will leave. They want to continue the union with Sudan, or they want to be independent of themselves. And Sudan allowed for that referendum to be conducted in the South. Same with East Timorese. Now, if we are going to the table of negotiations, they say negotiation is a game of give and take.
Exactly.
We should bear it in mind that La Republique will not be coming to the table of negotiation to say, okay, I'm coming to say that the people of Southern they recognize the Southern Cameroons is not part of their territory, it's an independent entity which they have colonized, and are proud to say that they are the only African country that have colonized another African country. So now, do you just let your colony go away like that? They will be forced to say, before we'll leave this our colony go away, we are going to organize a referendum by the international community. The international community will ask them, you will accept the organization of a referendum in the Southern Cameroons to seek the opinion of these people if they want to continue living as your colony, or they want to achieve their total independence. If La Republique now says no, that is when the international community will say, okay, we are deploying an international peacekeeping force to get you out of that place. For in the first place, it's not part of your territory. So in the Southern Cameroonian, who is saying that he does not want a referendum in the Southern Cameroons, I wonder what that Southern Cameroonian is thinking in his head. Again, a person like Mr. Ayaba going to tell the people of Biafra who are fighting to secede, and use the word secede from Nigeria, but that's a true case of secession from Nigeria, that he supports a referendum organized in Biafra land, but opposes the same referendum to be organized in the Southern Cameroons. That makes him a hypocrite of the highest order. For I don't know what he wants to the people of the Southern Cameroons. Everybody in Gaza, because he's not there, should be killed. Or what is his take on this? That is the more reason Mr. Ayaba will not want to come together, as Tibonage is crying every day, years past, that we should come together for the international community to know exactly who to talk to. For we are sending a lot of mixed signals on the way. But if you go to Mr. Ayaba, when Tibonage come together, Mr. Ayaba will say Sama Thomas is an instrumentalist, instrumenting the colonizer. But everything that Mr. Ayaba is doing is a hallmark of that instrumentalizer who is implementing holding on to the southern Cameroons. Had it been Mr. Ayaba really wants the independence of southern Cameroons, I think he could have still been holding onto that elusive name of CIC, Commander-in-Chief. We could have all been together since 2017 to see how we reach Boya. But he chose to go his lone way like a lone wolf that wants to get everything for himself and knowing fully well that he will not be able to get it. So any Southern Cameroonian who is still standing with Mr. Ayaba till he is doing something good, you do not want to see us liberated as soon as possible. And who tells Mr. Ayaba that he might even live to see the liberated Southern Cameroons? For I'm not sure that I will live to see the liberated Southern Cameroons, but I want to contribute the little that I can. If I see it, thank God that God had blessed me to see it. If I don't, I have my own mark for others to appreciate and walk on that footpath to see them arrive. So Southern Cameroon should be there and work as a team to attain or achieve their goal and forget of this division that is plaguing us.
Thank you, Honorable Sama Thomas. Thank you, Maji. You heard what Sama Thomas said, and there are those leaders who don't believe in referendum for Ambazonia, but they believe in referendum for Biafra. And you have seen the work of these leaders who are there trying to exploit the people back home, trying to collect ransom, trying to do things that are, committing gruesome acts of violence, and just, they don't want collaboration. They don't want to. So I don't understand. These are the leaders who are there. And I heard what Comrade Sama Thomas said, that these leaders were there with them, for 30 years. And now they should try to give way for the new generation in terms of being like mentors, act like teachers, act like leaders who can guide this new generation towards achieving this goal, because you can't stay there all the time, like we have a Molanjoli Tumbe, all these Pandangam, they are there, but they are trying to give guidance to the other people who are trying to lead today, So, Maji, can you conclude?
It seems Maji is frozen.
Oh, yes. Can you conclude, Maji?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, with me, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I want to feel like maybe people do not understand this referendum. I keep saying that we have a problem with La Republique. The international community is aware, and every time that they talk to La Republique says this is an internal matter. It's a problem in our country. It does not call for interference from anybody, from international body. So we are going to solve it. We'll sit and talk. That's why they had their own, whatever they call it, that they brought people together. They just dictated what they wanted to happen. Now, the international community is saying, no, these people have a problem. You have to go to the root cause of this problem. Let's start addressing this problem from the root cause. And that being the case, the Republic is refusing because they know it's going to weigh against them. And that is why we are asking for, no, to add on to that, La Republique is saying that this war, this problem is just a few people few disgruntled people who are in the diaspora who are causing this problem. And they forget to know that the diaspora had nothing to do with this war, that it was them, it was La République, which was attacking our people, unarmed young individuals who did not even have anything. People who have never even killed a chicken, young boys who did not know anything were being chased, killed, and maimed. And so those boys quickly discovered that they had to defend themselves. And that's how they started with a rubber gun. I mean, stupid things like that to use, but they had to use it because that's all they had, until they've gotten to the point now that they are going toe to toe with La République. And so we are saying to La République, since you say that it is us, that those of us in the diaspora, and like I said, this thing was the boys on the ground, the our children on the ground, the parents, the mothers, the fathers who were suffering, and we could not just sit here and fold our arms. So we joined in to assist them, to do what we can do from our end, and to give them financial assistance. But meanwhile, we are pursuing diplomatic solutions on this end. So how can they now say that we are the one fostering, we are the ones causing the problem? It's a minority of the people who are involved. Okay, that being the case, we are asking the international community to assist us to have a referendum by us. Only those of us Ambazonians should take part in this referendum, so that we can say conclusively that this problem is our problem, that this disregard, this separation that we want from La République is by a majority of Ambazonians. It is not
Yes.
by a few Ambazonians. So that is it. When they come up with an argument, we want to prove, because we have not been able or given the opportunity to table our problem, because the international community listens to them when they say, if somebody comes to Cameroon, like Cameroon will say, no, you cannot go to the northern zone, you cannot go to the southern zone. It is very dangerous. We cannot ensure your safety. Okay, by saying that you are preventing people from coming to hear from us, there's nobody from the international community who can say that they came here, they went to Kumba, they went to Manfe, they went to Bamenda, they went to Bui, they went to Nkambe or to Wum or to
Right.
Libialem to see for themselves. So
See
this
for
is
themselves
our
atrocity.
opportunity, because La Republic is always blocking them. It's always saying, no, it's dangerous. So they put forward those people who are on their side, like Agbombala and Ellie Smith, are our spokespeople. And those are the people who are not with us. So the only way that we can stand and have our voices heard is for us to have a referendum. When we have a referendum, for us, the people of Ambazonia, we will express our wishes, our desires, our hopes, and what we want. Then from there, they can bring us to sit with La Republic and say, this is what the people have said, and now you defend it or you talk about it. Let's discuss. We cannot discuss from the air when nobody knows what our position is, when La Republic refuses to address the root cause of this problem. So a referendum, I think a lot of people do not understand what this referendum represents. If they understand, they'll be dancing for joy that this is what gives us a voice, because the international community has asked for the root cause of this problem to be addressed. The Republic refuses. So this now they are coming to us and saying, now let's give you the opportunity for you to have a voice. How can we refuse to use this opportunity for us to have a voice? How can we refuse?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Margie. Thank you. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our show. I want to appreciate all those who are watching from far and near, those in Ground Zero, those in Ground One, those in South Africa, in UK, in United States. Someone just sent me this poem. Let me read this poem for you. The poem reads, "We are sons and daughters of Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia. We are the heirs of a proud and whole noble history. We are the keepers of a rich and diverse culture. We are the builders of a bright and hopeful future. We have endured the pain of colonization and oppression. We have resisted the force of assimilation and domination. We have witnessed the blood of our brothers and sisters. We have suffered the loss of our homes and lands. We have not given up our dignity and identity. We have not forsaken our rights and liberty. We have not forsaken our dreams and aspirations. We have not lost our faith and courage. We stand together in solidarity and unity. We speak with one voice for justice and peace. We fight with one heart and for freedom and independence. We hope with one spirit for reconciliation and healing. We are the people of Southern Cameroon. We are the nation of Ambazonia. We are the light of Africa, and we are the hope of the world." That was the poem someone sent to me.
Wow.
So thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. I just want to leave you one quote from Aristotle. "Courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees the others." Thank you for watching, and see you next time. And God bless you. Thank you for watching ABS TV.
Rap Mimp on the beat.
Relebini Monkwabi Ekerengbe We dey talk, we dey do am. Africans them dey talk, them dey do am. Security dey Ekerengbe. The boys are coming, Baba and the Bata. We dey talk, we dey do am. Africans them dey talk, them dey do am. Security take Ekerengbe. The boys are coming, Baba and the Bata. Ekerengbe, 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 Ekerengbe. Them say Bayangi boys are proud. Them say Sawa boys be high. Them say Baminda boys them dey show. Them know their culture, Baba and the Bata. Them say Bayangi boys are proud. Them say Sawa boys them dey high. Them say Baminda boys them dey show. Them know their culture, Baba and the Bata. Ekerengbe, 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 Ekerengbe. African men hold your culture. Your culture is your pride and future. When the man them are ringing the like Ekerengbe, the boys are taking makers of Ekbe. African men hold your culture. Your culture is your pride and future. When the man them are ringing the like Ekerengbe, the boys are taking makers of Ekbe. Ekerengbe, 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 Ekerengbe. If you know be Bayangi, if you know be Sour boy, if you know be Graphy boy, if you know be Awusa boy, if you know be Owundo boy, if you know be Sour boy, if you know be Graphy boy, if you know be Africa African. African men hold your culture. Your culture is your pride and future. The demand them are ringing the right kereng. The boys are taking make us soft. African men hold your culture. Your culture is your pride and future. The demand them are ringing the right kereng. The boys are taking make us soft.